Well, hello folks. Well, once again, it is winter, and as my wife wants to ask me, why do we keep doing this? So we're going out camping, and we did plan this about a few months earlier. However, we did not anticipate or did not know or weren't sure what the temperatures would be. So look, take two. So I guess I've been speaking to this thing and it was in photo mode after all. Anyway, so we're outside again, and it is the end of the year, and as you know, as we've been doing the past few years during this pandemic, we've been going camping, and we weren't ready for the 39-degree low Fahrenheit temperatures to the 55-degree high temperatures that where we're going camping seems to be what the temperatures are going to be. So I decided to get myself a indoor heater for the large tent that we have. It's I believe a 9 by 11 foot tent, so it's pretty large, just for two and the doggy. And so what I ended up doing was going to Lowe's and Sam's Club looking for a heater, and I ended up with this Mr. Heater MH1, what is that? An MH18B model of heater. I tried to get the same thing. The difference being that Sam's Club sells it for about $149 and some change, say $150, and Lowe sells it for $139, say $140 and some change. So that's a $10 difference, but I want to see what the difference is, because from the box itself it appears to say that the Sam's Club has the 5-foot propane hose and an AC adapter for the fan. So note that according to the Mr. Heater website, not all versions of the MH18B, Mr. Buddy or Big Buddy will have the fan or will have the plug. Those might be sold optionally, and sometimes they may not have the hose as well, and for sure it won't have the filter. So depending on the fuel filter, so depending on the version of the hose that you have, just take note that you might need a fuel filter. I'm almost certain that the 5-foot length of hose that this comes with is not one of those things that doesn't require a fuel filter. Some versions of the hose, I think the 10-foot, 12-foot, and longer, actually doesn't require a fuel filter. Granted, you can have it. I'll probably I'll get one, but remember that a fuel filter costs in the area of about $35 to $40, and the 12-foot hose, I believe, something longer than a 5-foot, is somewhere in the range of about $13 if you're getting it from Lowe's or most places. So just take note of that extra cost if you plan to connect it to a 15-pound tank, which is what I'm planning to do. With this, we're going camping for a few days, so we need, instead of getting a bunch of canisters and connecting it to the sides, this takes two of them, by the way, left and right. I wanted to connect it to a huge tank, a 15-pound tank. I believe most reviews I've seen talk about a 20-pound tank. I've got a 15 one, a blue Rhino. That's what we have. I got it from the 7-Eleven next to me or something like that. So that's what we're going to do. And now it's time for us to take a look at these two options and see the contents and compare if there is a $10 difference because of the materials or components that are included and which ones are going back. And then I might be able to fire it up and test it. I actually do have to test it because we're going in about a day or two. So here we go. Sam's Club. So on this page, on page 11, you can actually see that depending on the models of the hose that you get, it'll say if you need the optional fuel filter. The fuel filter. So since it comes in a 5-foot, it will need a fuel filter. Now I went and got another accessory from Lowe's that will actually may optionally probably not have the fuel filter. This is the 12-foot propane hose assembly. This is model, I'm trying to see here, this is the model F298802. So here it doesn't say which model this is. So well, according to this, it will not require, probably not require, an F2793. So it will require, that's the fuel filter over there, that icon. So this model that I got apparently will still need the fuel filter. So it's not one of those things. And so, like most of them actually say recommended with a fuel filter. Recommended. This last two ones, the 12-foot propane hose with this model, regulators will not require a fuel filter. All right, just take note of that. As I mentioned, when you buy this, you'll actually need to buy other things too. This hose here, and as I mentioned, a fuel filter. So this is how the fuel filter looks like. It's a little large, so you'll know about it. It is the F273699 as mentioned in the documentation. Now, time to take this thing out and see how it looks like. It just falls apart like that. There's nothing else in the box, so we can sort of put that aside. I'll throw it over there. It's not important, because what is important is the Big Buddy itself. So compared to the Little Buddy, I think that's what they call it, it's got two of these panels. The Little Buddy only has one. So and this is where the fan is, blows the air out towards you, and down there is the pilot. And here you can let's see, how do we I guess we close it. There we go. You got these where we plug those two what's that, propane, those handy propane canisters I was talking about. And here is the other side. The difference being, on this side you've just got this attachment here, and note that when you connect that fuel filter, most of the photos show it connecting to the right side here, facing front. That way you know where it is, and it's right next to this where the pilot light is, I mean this knob here. Yeah, so I'm looking. You'll also need a set of batteries. So just in case that you run out of power, you actually need batteries for these. Are, I believe, D batteries. It's back here, don't forget where it is. And also you've got that this is where you put the that extra adapter that I showed you. That's for the fan. Just plug it in here and plug it on the other side on a 20 volts 120 volts. So this has an assumption that for that to be running continuously, you'll need some source of power in order for the fan to keep blowing. And you've got this switch here for the fan, off and on. And over here you've got the off, the pilot, which you'll hold for about 30 seconds initially, and then you go to low, mid or high for the strength of the flame. All right, that's how it is. All right, now let's take a look at the version from Lowe's and see if it's as complete as this one from Sam's Club. Now this is the Lowe's version, which also says fan included, but it doesn't say anything about a hose or that extra AC adapter for the fan. Oh, here, I was looking for that. I put it in here earlier. I was saying that you might not have a use or need for this because it's got its own pilot light and it does all the lighting for you. So in the box, the difference being obviously that this is using styrofoam and the Sam's Club one is using cardboard. I prefer the cardboard from from an earth-friendly nature, but as you probably noticed, I didn't see that AC plug in there. So you've got that, you've got the manual, so which is standard, and nothing else in the box. So for sure, this Lowe's version doesn't actually have the 5-foot hose, which is a nice thing. This is ready to go. So the box also says Tough Buddy, but it says Big Buddy here. So the Tough Buddy seems to be a specific branding or naming to differentiate the Lowe's version from the Sam's Club version. Here's where the AC, AC to DC adapter would be, and here are where the batteries would go as well. So pretty similar, except that those accessories are actually optional and they are missing. Oh, one thing I noticed is that actually you can actually hang this thing against the wall or something like that. It comes with that. So yeah, so right off the bat, I think and it's obvious if you were me that we're gonna go with the Sam's Club version of this thing. So just a quick follow-up. I made a mistake when I said that this costs 12 bucks. Actually, this 12-foot hose is the one that actually costs almost $40. And if you get the 5-foot hose, this one, which came with the Sam's Club version, this is somewhere in the area of $20 to $22. So, and both of them are going to need the filter, the fuel filter, which reaching for it, costs around $13. So either way, you're going to need this thing, if at all. So even for bang for your buck, the fact that it comes with a $20 hose built in is already that's like less $10. So this is 10 bucks. But the fact that it comes with a 6-volt AC adapter for the fan, so this one, this small little thing, this actually costs somewhere in the area of about $18 plus tax, so somewhere like 20. So that's another $20 plus 10. That's so you save yourself $30 by actually getting the Sam's Club version of the the Big Buddy heater from Mr. Heater. Oh, so many words. But you will, I will remind that you still need this fuel filter, whatever you do. So it seems to be, it's a little hard to get the newer hoses, which will not require you to have this filter. So there are two versions of the Mr. Heater 12-foot hose that will not require you to have this filter. This filter, by the way, needs to be changed every season, so at a minimum once a year, depending on your usage. So I would recommend once a year. That's the recommendation, and I'll probably do that for the cost. Because if it was costing somewhere like, as I mentioned, the $40, that would be a deal breaker for even getting this whole setup all together. So there you are, folks. I'm dropping everything, bam. We're sticking with the Sam's Club. We're up $30, but then we also have to get this filter, so minus 13. So all in all, we're still good. So I hope this is helpful for you if you're going to go camping. And now it's time for me to actually test this thing with my 15-pound tank. And once the camping is done, I'll probably give you another review or probably a follow-up in camp. And this is a one-take upload of this review, so I have no time because we're on our way. So you folks have a warm Thanksgiving, and I'll talk to you soon.